It's the waterfront. He's got another engagement.
And anything from the Garden of
Because it's such a lovely picture, and it says love the children. So we really want to have that piece over there.
We just brought it here, but we thought we wanted it here, but
no, we'll give that to some community organizations where we need much more.
Okay.
I think Exodus.
The police isn't a community organization. Is that what you're saying?
Well, according to that tree,
we could give it to Commander Ward for the 11th district.
They don't, I don't know if they really love the children.
You want to take a picture of you holding the torch near the tree?
Well, I want to do that at Beverly Street. Well,
You can take a picture, yeah.
Hey, with me on the motorcycle? Oh, the tree, man. Here, we at the police district, 11 here in Chicago, and I didn't even get arrested. Thank you. You gather around? We didn't see that. Who's got the banner? You ready?
So we wanted to, well, we'll gather here, obviously, you know a little bit about it to be put in there, but we've been running since New York. Started in New York and we ran up through Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and here we are in Chicago. And it's all about sharing a message that peace and harmony put out in the heart of each one of us. So what we would like to do initially is to sing you a song.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a song that was composed by the founder of the run, Sri Chinmoy. And the reason we created this, or he created this run, or founded it, was to kind of give this hope, this message of hope that peace starts in the heart of each one of us. And if we ever want world peace, then we have to find it within ourselves first. Okay, so we're going to sing the peace anthem.
Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Oneness will our joy as we run. Oneness will our joy as we run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Sisters and brothers, our peace always reigns. Sisters and brothers, our peace always reigns. Shall be the goal, harmony gains. Shall be the goal, harmony gains. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run. Peace run, peace run, peace run, peace run.
And I know Commander Cato's not here. We're also going to honor him. Or now Chief Cato. I can't. They've been promoted through the ranks. Anyway, I can say this: Chicago's famous for its violence. Unfortunately, if every policeman had the consciousness and demeanor of Lieutenant Harris, those things would disappear. Because he's such a servant, and he's all for the people. And I immediately just felt my heart's fondness and oneness with him, and I'm so happy to be able to be part of awarding you with the Torch of the World.
Yes.
Amen.
And me being from the West Side, I want you to hold that torch and hold it up high so that we can get a picture of that. He said police officer, but if every individual had the spirit that he happened to have, I think he got it from his grandmother or something, that kindness and that inspiration that he happened to have and show as a police officer, if everybody in the community, we wouldn't even need no police officers. So we want to thank you for serving our neighborhoods and our community and keep doing the wonderful job that you're doing in spreading that love and that peace that you've been doing throughout the years that we've known.
Hey, look, if you can clap it up.
Oh, wow. I have the honor. Uh-oh, you got to switch. Switch this one.
It's a new ID, gold medal.
Yeah, that's I can get in anywhere with that one.
Yeah, sure.
So, this is, I feel so honored.
Oh, yeah, like that. That way the face is all out.
I'm going to get behind him. Somebody take that torch because I don't want my hat burned. But it's an honor to place this beautiful medallion around your neck. I feel so honored to give that to you, sir, from the World Peace Fund.
Great. Wow, thank you all so much.
Oh,
Wow.
we're not finished. So I've got some wonderful things here for you.
Certificate, recipient, flower, and also this book that was written by Sri Chinmoy, which is a collection of all of his utterances about nature, more so Mother Earth, serving Mother Earth. It's a beautiful book, and we want you to have it.
There it is, sir. Here it is. Oh, they're trying to get you to run.
Official member of the Sri Chinmoy Peace Run, home.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
And we have a new home for you. We bought a house. No.
Whoa, this is even getting better.
Yeah.
Come with a bike.
You got the bike too.
And can we invite you to say a few words about your service and yeah, I'll hold this.
Well, the first thing, thank you all for traveling so far, right, in this name and this idea around peace and the concept. So hearing peace and what we think about peace is essentially how do we come together as humanity. And one of the things that when I do my job is really understanding that compassion, that love for people. And that's the thing that drives us. The answer, the cure, the solution to everything is each other. And to see this opportunity with so many different countries, so many people from around the U.S. all coming together for this one topic, it's like I'm a little nervous, embarrassed, like being the person that's in the middle of it because I try to be the one who serves others. But it is a pertinent thing to help refill. It's refilling my tank and helping give me more energy to get through and continue to fight. And this is something that I'll be able to take with me and be able to reflect on. This treatment, this love that I got from you all is while we are strangers at this point, but I think like now we're together, we're connected, and we can kind of move forward. So thank you all so much for doing this. You're taking and sacrificing your own time, right, for others. And I think that's the thing of our jobs as police officers. That's what we do. And so you all are now, since I'm an honorary peace runner, you're honorary first responders. We're all yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, good.
Yes.
Also, we have something else that we haven't done here. We have also here a Sri Chinmoy peace tree that was planted 2 years ago now, and we had planned an inaugural moment of meditation 2 years ago. It couldn't happen, as you might imagine. The police are busy with this and that. But I'd like us to take a minute and just meditate on the sentiment that is offered by Sri Chinmoy. Commander Cato, Chief Cato, retired Chief Cato, we originally wanted to honor him, but have it say this is dedicated to him because at one time he was here. But he said, no, please let this tree be dedicated to the strength and dedication of all the officers of the district. So it's not about him, and that's the way both of these gentlemen are. It's about this. So the plaque reads, at every moment, I rededicate myself to being a server of world peace. A perfect model for all of us, certainly a perfect model for the police station, the policemen of Chicago. If we could just take a moment of silence and prayer and goodwill.
And then we'll finish with the New World Peace. Devendra, can we get a group photograph? Okay.
Squeeze in a little bit. Can you guys over there squeeze in a little bit? A few steps in, please? It ain't working.
Yeah, so this is, most of this team ran with us from New York City. We went up, as you saw on the map, we went up to, or through Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, into Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Niagara Falls. We didn't go over Niagara Falls, we went past Niagara Falls. And, you know, along the way we've been showered by the blessings of people, of peace lovers, of God lovers, of creation lovers along the way. And this is only one small leg. It's 1,400 miles, which sounds like a lot. But since the run began in '87, we've covered like nearly 400,000 miles. And each one of the people that have held the torch since that beginning have got us here today. And each one of you is going to get us where we're going next. So thank you so much. Along the way, we've created an award called the Torchbearer Award. This is an award to recognize, to celebrate, to honor people who have dedicated their lives to serving communities, to serving the societies in which they find themselves living, to serving their brothers and sisters. We've had the good fortune to present this award to Desmond Tutu, the great Olympic athlete Carl Lewis, human rights activist Billie Jean King, and countless others. And we have some very important and fitting recipients here today that we're delighted to get to meet, to get to know about, and to get to honor and to celebrate. So I'd like to invite Agraha, if you kindly come up to introduce our first torchbearer recipient, please.
Thank you, Shalil, and thank you for sharing. Every time I hear about the Torchbearer Awards and the Peace Run, I get a thrill. Just because in my mind, in my heart, I see thousands of children running and the joy of passing the torch and just Sri Chinmoy's vision. So thank you all for making this a reality for us. So our first recipient today is Mrs. Donna Prather-Williams. And could you come up, Donna? I'll say a few words about you, and then we have a special song for you as well. I want to introduce Donna Prather-Williams. She's the eldest granddaughter of the great Jesse Owens. We're just delighted you're here. We're honored you're here. I'll say a few words before we present the award and before we request your words. Because for Sri Chinmoy, Jesse Owens was his idol, actually, when he was a champion sprinter in India. And Jesse Owens, the heroic sprinter, conquered the heart of the entire free world when he won 4 gold medals in the 1936 Olympics in the 1936 Olympics in Germany. And in Sri Chinmoy's song for his hero, he writes, "Champion of champions, hero of heroes, in your service heart America glows. In Berlin 4 gold medals winner, eternity's diamond heart owner." And Donna and her family members created the Jesse Owens Foundation in Chicago to carry on his very important work. They honored Sri Chinmoy with their prestigious Jesse Owens Humanitarian Award, and we had a gala formal dinner here in Chicago in 2002. The foundation has many important ongoing activities, especially encouraging young, promising athletes from poor families. So it's just such an honor to have you here, and I would like to please invite our singers to sing the song that Sri Chinmoy wrote for your grandfather. And would you please come? Hey. You want to read the words? Oh, yeah. And we will. Right. Someone will be reading the words first. Come forward, please, because someone will read the words first as well. Oh, yes, right. I'm sorry. Please.
Please go and get on stage.
Would you like? You can come on the stage here, or you want to read from wherever you want.
So here are the words of the song written by Sri Chinmoy. It says, Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens. Oh deathless jump, oh breathless speed. Eternally athlete's world you will feed. Dictator Hitler's Aryan supremacy surrendered to your Himalayan ecstasy. Champion of champions, hero of heroes. In your service heart America glows. In Berlin 4 gold medals winner, eternity's diamond heart owner.
Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens. Oh, deathless jump, oh, breathless speed. Eternally, athlete's world you will feed. Dictator Hitler's Aryan supremacy. Surrender to your Himalayan ecstasy. Champion of champions, hero of heroes, in your service heart, America glows. In Berlin 4 gold medals winner, eternity's diamond heart owner. Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens. Oh, deathless jump, oh, breathless speed. Eternally, athlete's world you will feed. Dictator Hitler's Aryan supremacy. Surrender to your Himalayan ecstasy. Champion of champions, hero of heroes, in your service heart, America glows. In Berlin 4 gold medals winner, eternity's diamond heart owner.
Thank you so much. I'd like to ask the girls as they depart, just the girls, to shake hands, please, with Donna and say your name and country.
Germany, USA,
Nayata, Italy. Shantiba, Mexico. Purnakama, Canada.
Paprika, Netherlands.
Sharika, Cape Verde Islands.
Pranata from Canada.
Raita from New Zealand.
Lotita, USA and Haiti.
And now I'd like to invite Virangani from our Providence Center to please present the Torchbearer medallions. Shalil, come, let's take a photo. Virangani, we can take a photo here. Just, and Shalil.
Thank you.
As Sheree told you, I am the eldest grandchild of Ruth and Jesse Owens, and I am humbled and proud to be here today. This is a wonderful event. I actually wasn't expecting all of this, but this is wonderful. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Jesse Owens Foundation. The foundation was established in 1980 following my grandfather's death. The foundation provides information and referrals on the life and legacy of Jesse Owens, Olympic champion and humanitarian. Our flagship program was scholarships to provide financial assistance to kids who otherwise may not have been able to realize their educational dreams. My grandfather believed that youth was our greatest resource, and he helped all young people all over the world as much as he could and in any way that he can. Our scholarship program is now endowed to the Ohio State University where my grandfather attended, and 2 of my aunts went there. The endowment will exist in perpetuity, and it has been changed the name to the Ruth and Jesse Owens Scholars Program. However, the Jesse Owens Foundation continues to give assistance and additional grants when funds are available. My grandfather first met Sheree Chimnoy in 1972, and they formed an immediate and deep friendship. They were kindred spirits. They both believed in spreading love. My grandfather loved deeply, especially his family. He always put us first. He taught us not to love each other, but not only to love each other, but to love others as well, and to reach out and help people whenever we could, which we tried to do as much as we can. He had a great sense of community, and he never forgot where he came from. He came from humble beginnings in Oakville, Alabama. He lived in his parents were sharecroppers, and they lived in this itty bitty little house with both parents and 9 kids. And all 9 kids slept in one room. So there's a museum in Oakville called the Jesse Owens Museum that was built for him, and there's a replica of the house that he lived in. If you ever have a chance to go to Alabama, go to Oakville and visit the museum, it is wonderful. It's amazing what they've done down there. I'm deeply moved by the love that Sheree had for my grandfather. Again, on behalf of my family and the Jesse Owens Foundation, thank you for honoring my grandfather with the Torchbearer Award.
A few gifts for you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheree.
Thank you very much.
Agraha.
Oh, it's a joy to see you. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
we've talked a lot. I feel like
Alderwoman Emma Mitz, would you please come forward and accept this? That's our alderman over here in the 37th Ward, ladies and gentlemen, Emma Mitz. We want to thank you so much, dear, for coming out. And she's won the Torchbearers Award. And you see we have a beautiful sign of her back there, so you can't miss her. And she has been very honorable to Exodus Drum and Bugle Corps for years. So would you like to take that mic and say a little bit of something about Pastor Lockhart and maybe the Healing Temple Church, let them know what it is?
Absolutely. It's always good to be present, particularly when we're talking about peace. And I am so grateful to accept this on behalf of Pastor Lockhart, the Healing Temple Church of God in Christ, who resides on the 4900 block on Chicago Avenue. In fact, their church is right across the street from my office. So between her and myself, we don't intend to have anything of disruption coming along that way. Let me say that Pastor Lockhart has done so much in the community. Not only is he a minister, he believes in making sure that they take care of the community, providing food, taking care of the veterans, doing the back to school parade, always trying to help where it's needed, and anything they can do. So I'm so grateful to be able to accept this award on their behalf, even though I will not try to fill their shoes. Everybody have their own shoes to wear. And if you know you have some shoes on, then you take care of the shoes that you got on your feet and work together, and everything works together for the good of them that love the Lord. Yes. And I believe that peace is just, if we just can imagine peace being in the world today. Yes. For one moment, if we would just think about peace, what would it be like? Yes. Peace in the homes. Yes. Peace on the jobs. Yes. Peace in the street. Peace in the church. Peace at work. Everywhere we go, as our feet take one step forward, we have peace. My, what would happen then? I think that it's important for us to think of that. Yes. Just think of peace as we go from day to day. And I certainly want to thank you all. Thank you, Exodus. Thank you for the work that we've done here in the building. Thank you for coming and helping out. That's what we do. When you see, when you're working with organization, you're doing the work, you're going to find God going to put you in the right place. And certainly you came to the right place to help to continue to build. When you see walls, buildings need to be rebuilt, we are rebuilding. So thank you so much. Another anchor for 37 Ward being rebuilt. Yes, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah. We're just going to hand her this, and I think they have a beautiful bag that they're going to give to the Pastor Lockhart. Please give the Alderwoman another nice round of applause. And it has been so hard trying to give pastors these Torchbearer Awards.
In a little tent, oh, like a river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change will come. Oh, yes, it will. Now I know what's not there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know one day these streets change gonna come. That's it, I changed this one. know, I know, I know, I know, I know, down in my heart, thank you, oh yeah. Sometimes I want to sleep at night, and I wonder what's going to happen the next morning day. But I tell the Lord, peace be unto you. I thank you, Lord, for all that you've done for me.
We don't want to keep you here all day, but we do have a few more things to share with you. I'd like to tell you that a little later in the program, not too much, but later, we have the most amazing classical Indian dancers coming up to share the beauty of their spiritual interpretation with you. We have a wonderful church choir coming up. But first, we have Dr. Ganapati John Coleman, who wants to share some thoughts with you on spirituality, freedom, and human rights.
Amen.
I really love that song, and thank you so much, Reverend Harris. You really do it justice. But good afternoon, brothers and sisters. My name is Ganapati Coleman, and it is my honor and privilege to be able to share a few words with you here today about spirituality and freedom and human rights. You know, it's been on my mind a lot as of late, partly because I'm writing a book called Re-Envisioning America that looks at black spirituality and philosophy of Gandhi and the philosophy of the founder of the Peace Movement, Sri Chinmoy, to put forth some truths and processes that I think are important in dealing with the kinds of fractures and stresses and strains that we're seeing in our society today. How do we deal with this? How do we go forward? How do we make progress? Some of you may be aware that the Parliament of World Religions is meeting next week. There are also pre-Parliament events, and this is one of them. And the Parliament is a meeting of many faiths, it's interfaith. And there you celebrate not only what you have in common, but also your differences, because they're all like flowers in a garden. So we celebrate both what we have in common and our differences as well. And I was very inspired to be here 30 years ago. You know, the Parliament of World Religions began in 1893, and then it took a break for about 100 years. And in 1993, it had a rebirth. And a founder of the Peace Run did the opening meditation at that very inspiring event. And now, 30 years again, hence, I'm back, in particular because of the message, the theme of this Parliament of World Religions. And it's called A Call to Conscience, Defending Freedom and Human Rights. And those concepts are very, very important there. Call to conscience. It evokes kind of an inner dimension. It's not just morality, it's that silent voice within us that guides us. It's a deep spirituality. I think deep spirituality is the foundation on which all human activities should be based. And then you have the word defending freedom. Now in the American context, as an African American, I kind of feel like we didn't get off on quite the right foot there, you know. We had some really wonderful concepts that the Founding Fathers had, but if you're African American, you realize it wasn't perfect. But I think the genius of the Founding Fathers is that they didn't create a dead, finished product when they created the Constitution. They made it a living document that could be amended and evolved. Because I think there were those who realized We haven't gotten there yet, but maybe future generations would have the wisdom and the courage to do the right thing, which ultimately they did. So the important thing about America, I think, is our ability to constantly reinvent ourselves, to be better today than we were yesterday, better tomorrow than we are today. We're an evolutionary process, and that is one of the things which really made me want to be here and be part of this experience. So there's defending freedom, and then there's also defending human rights. And when I think of defending human rights, I can't help but think back to the Civil Rights Movement. It was deeply spiritual. You know, you had Reverend Martin Luther King, and Reverend Ralph Abernathy, and Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Reverend Fred Shuttleworth, and Reverend James Wilson, and so on and so forth. And it was interfaith. There were Muslims, and there were Hindus too. But Muslims and Jews in particular also joined with Martin Luther King in pushing forward that movement. So it was very interfaith, bringing together the best of all religions to move our country forward. And so I hope that many of you will have what I call a King moment. And I'd like to relate a little story from the life of Martin Luther King. You know, back in the late 1940s, he was a student at the Crozer Theological Seminary. He was dealing with all those questions that people deal with, trying to answer questions about life and what's it all about, but also dealing with the issues of race in America. And he understood the philosophy of Jesus of love, but how do you apply it to masses? He understood how it worked among a few people, but not how it applies to masses. And then one day, he attends a lecture. It's sponsored by the Fellowship House in Philadelphia. It's at the First Unitarian Church. And it's Mordecai Johnson, who is the president of Howard University, has just returned from India. And he gives a talk on Gandhi. And he waxes eloquently, and a light bulb goes off in King's mind. He goes out, he reads half a dozen books on Gandhi. And that's the moment that he became Gandhi, I think, King as we know him today, where he really found something within him, that spark, and that means of methodology. We all have that spark within ourselves. We all have means and methodologies at our beck and call. You know, things that we have experienced, things that we know to do. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to try and bring to the fore our best capabilities, our deep spiritual capabilities, in order to instill freedom, human rights, and lead us on towards that ideal of e pluribus unum, from many one. Thank you. That's what I wanted to share.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to take all of 30 seconds to ask you to join me in thanking Sebak Edward James and Jerome Arkman. They are the founders and directors of this facility, Exodus. Now, 7 years ago, this was a very dilapidated old firehouse. And since then, I'm not even going to try to tell you about the trials and tribulations that they've been through, because I couldn't do it justice.
Everybody nod their heads, starting
So, right, so without going into it, and the work they've done with the youth and the seniors and the community in general over these years, and for allowing us the privilege to hold our program here in this facility, this hallowed and blessed facility, I'd like to give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Now, we do have one last Torchbearer Award presentation, which was designed to be a surprise for the recipient, because he has no idea.
This gentleman, he's the alderman of the 29th Ward,
And we are proud because when we first started over at the garden on Mayfield and Chicago Avenue, where we happen to have 2 peace trees, and those were, one of them was the first peace tree laid in the city. And it was thanks to this gentleman that we were able to put that tree out here in this beautiful community that we happen to have. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot about this alderman. He's came on our TV program that we've had here. He spoke. He's trying to do a whole lot of things for the neighborhood and the community. We're proud of him in this community. And he had a hard time parking, so maybe we can get him to get us a little extra parking over here. And he gave up and went back to his office, but he had no idea. We didn't even put his name in the program. Oh, the wrong word. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I forgot. We got Alderman Mitch up there in the back, and I'm sitting back.
I'm in her home.
Okay, he's in her home right now, but it's so wonderful to have him here. He had no idea. He was just coming to the program, but we didn't put him in there because we wanted to surprise him. Everybody at his office knew he was receiving this award, but him. And they kept it from him and everything. And so, speak a moment about peace, how peace is for you.
Thank you. Well, firstly, I love being a man of truth. And when I drove by and saw that it was a peace run, I hurried back and got to my office because I could do a peace walk. But as you can see, a peace run is a little difficult. But in all seriousness, thank you so much, and I'm certainly appreciative of being honored in any way. When I think, and this is a little caught me off guard here, but as I think of peace, and most of you know that I'm from the southern part of Virginia, and right off the North Carolina border. And even in my young ages, we certainly saw our share of things that somewhat breached our peace, dealing with racism, and dealing with a complex that's bestowed upon you to say that you are inferior in one way or another. And so these things remind me, and I listen to the voices of the generation before me, and how they advocated, but not only for social justice and racial equalities, but they advocated, and those voices still stand out in my mind as they advocated for peace.
Yes.
Not just peace in our cities across the country, but in our states, and in this United States, and peace across the world.
Yes.
And so those voices still echo today, except they've taken up a younger generation. And so I stand here saying to you today, as we continue to strive toward a peaceful world, we can't forget those things that still stand in our way of that. We're still fighting for, and these are also the things that, in many instances, they seem to determine why we are at war with one another, whether that's on the streets, war in our states, and war in our countries. They tend to be the same or associated with the same foundation. And that's the foundations of inequalities, the foundations of social and racial injustices. And so we have to continue, and I'm honored to join my colleague in this fight to stamp out those things that cause a breach of those pieces. I've often said, and my kids laugh at me sometimes because they say, "Dad, you're old." Almost every time since I can remember, and I'm going all the way back and I'll tell you this quick story. When I became a young police officer, my police partner was much younger than I, but he could run really good and was fast. But whenever he would hang up the phone after we would talk, or whenever he talked to anyone, he would say the same thing. He would say this word, just one word. He would say "one." And I never really understood what that means. But that was his way of relating. And from that time, because I was not of his generation, I came up with my own saying, because, to be honest, as I always am, I always thought saying bye-bye to people just didn't sound right. So back in '94, I started saying peace as I ended my phone conversations. And to this day, if you're ever on the phone with me, that's how I end my conversation. Peace. Peace. When you think the concept of peace, you're saying to that person, I'm wishing you tranquility in your life. I'm wishing you a life without strife, without problems, without turmoils. And so that's how I end my phone conversations. Now, every now and then, I might say bye-bye to somebody. But to me, it does my heart good and it does their heart good to say peace. So thank you so much for the honor. And I'm awesomely excited to be here with my colleague in her ward.
Oh yeah, in her ward.
Alderman Emma Mintz. Thank you so much.
Don't leave. We're going to place this Torchbearers Award around you. And it was the youth that placed that Torchbearers Award around you. And we want to thank you for your service and dedication, and keep saying that peace wherever you go. And congratulations. I think we have a lovely gift bag over here for you.
Thank you.
And I think Pradhan is going to give you part of this award. No? He's not getting part of this? No? Oh, let's steal your award.
We're very privileged to have with us today two of our esteemed community leaders. And I'd like to invite Danny Davis, U.S. Representative, to the stage. Representative Davis has been a friend of the Peace Years and a friend of the Peace Run and supporter of the Peace Run for over 30 years.
Thank you very much. And you know, it's always a pleasure to be with the Exodus Drum and Bugle Corps, a group and an organization that has provided for many years our community with tremendous engagement, tremendous inspiration, tremendous entertainment. So I want to commend Jerome Altman and all of those who have worked with him to make sure that this entity remains viable and strong. This is the home of what used to be the Mid-Austin Steering Committee, when Austin was divided into 4 or 5 different community organizations and groups. It was the Northeast Austin organization. It was the Mid-Austin Steering Committee. It was the South Austin Community Coalition. And it was the North Austin. So this was a central part of our community. I also want to welcome the Free Peace Walk. Free and I have known each other for many years. An outstanding leader of spiritualism and leader of peaceful endeavors. I first met him in Washington, D.C. many years ago with a large audience. I don't know how many people there may have been there. But if you are searching for peace,
yes,
if you are searching for relevance, if you are searching for contentment. You know, when I was a child, one of our favorite songs was, I am so tired and so weary, but I must go alone until the Lord comes and calls me away. But there will be peace in the valley someday.
Amen.
The bear will be gentle, and the wolf will be tamed, and the lion shall lay down by the lamb.
Yes.
And I will be changed from this creature that I am. There will be peace in the valley one day. Oh Lord, I pray. President Kennedy had a saying about peace. He said that peace is not found in treaties, covenants, and charters, but in the hearts of men. And if he was around today, he would have said in the hearts of men and women. It is so pleasing.
That's right.
To be a part of an international movement. To see our friends from India, which is the largest democracy in the world. And Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a great deal in common. And much of the teaching of Dr. King came from Mahatma Gandhi and his philosophy about life and living. So it is a pleasure to just be here, to be a part of this. And Sister Haynes was right. I love the spoken word. And some people who don't know that I used to do a little spoken word stuff.
Go ahead on then. Speak that word.
And so I end my comments by saying that out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I think what gods there may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is blooded, but unbowed. It makes no difference how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
As a veteran Chicago public school teacher, I have grief, not for my biological for my biological children, but for my students whose funerals I've had to attend, whose mothers I've had to give money to buy obituaries and to buy clothing, whose repasses I've had to prepare meals for. I have trauma, I have grief, and I know that my other fellow Chicago public school teachers and other educators throughout this city have trauma, have grief, have mourning, have longing for those babies who have yet to live their full lives. And so I dream a world where I don't have to attend those ceremonies. I dream a world where I can go to their weddings. I dream a world where I can go to their college graduations. I dream a world where they call to tell me, Miss Stamps, I've bought my first house. And I have, you know, on the other side of that, I've had some of those opportunities, but I am calling not only as the seat of commissioner, where I now am embracing the largesse of this role, where I can now really look with a lived experience and look at differently how we can end the prison to school to prison pipeline. I dream a world now where I can call on not only legislators, but I can call on parents and educators and center this peace in children and in students who deserve to grow up in a world that has it. And so please do continue to look out and listen out for me. Well, I'm going to call on you all to be in partnership with me, where we demand peace in this city and we center it on what young people have to say about the world that they deserve to grow up in, because we owe it to them to leave this world better than we found it. Thank you.
We made it. I'd like to invite the Peace Runners up for our final presentation.
Good afternoon. We've got a 4-minute song about gratitude and about peace. It's actually 2 songs. The first song, the words are, "My gratitude heart always knows the way. My oneness perfection always is the way." And the second song is, "A new world of peace, a new world of light, a new world of height can alone give me satisfaction, delight." If I'm not singing it, it's harder. So if you pick up the tune and pick up the words, please feel free to sing along.
Gratitude,